Hey everybody, this is Mr. Marshall at Stony Lane. I am sitting here in Stony Lane in a fourth grade class in Mrs. Warner's class, and these kids are working so hard. They're in their writing workshop, and so I was just talking to one of the writers here. This is Rhea. Say hi, Rhea.
Hi.
So Rhea was working in her notebook. You want to show us your writer's notebook? She's got a lot of writing, right? So Rhea, what were you working on today in your nonfiction writing?
I was writing about people with disabilities going to school in India and life back then.
Okay, let me show you. So this part is what?
Disabilities
This
going to
part.
school in India and life back then in the colonies.
So these are things that you already knew about, right? These are
Yeah.
like not things that you were researching. These are things you already knew about.
Mhm.
And then Mrs. Warner told you while you were talking to her, what did she tell you? What feedback did she give you?
Um, she told me that I was kind of doing a strategy where there's boxes and bullets.
Well, to back up, she said that you were working on three very different things, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because these are like people with disabilities going to school in India and life in the colonies. They're three very different things, right? But
Mhm.
they're things that you know about and things that you care about, right?
Yeah.
And
So
so,
we were talking, and then we kind of figured out a topic that's kind of related to all of them. People are not as fortunate as us.
okay, so how did you figure that out?
Well, I wrote down all of this, and we had to sit there for a while because they are very different. And then, like going to school in India, people don't have a lot as money as we have. And then life back then in the colonies, um, like uh, it's very different. Like we don't have like good schools like that. We don't have like computers and great principals and disabilities. People are not as fortunate because you have to walk around in wheelchairs and they can't do all the stuff that we can right now. And then to realize it's kind of like people are not as fortunate. People don't have the same things that we have. And then she's like, "That's a strategy that you did. You wrote down all the facts first, and then you figured out the idea, not the other way around."
Yeah,
So reverse boxes and bullets.
sometimes you can do that. You can take all the stuff you know and think, well, what's the same about all of it? And then that can be your idea. And sometimes you can come up with an idea that you can say a lot about, and sometimes it's not that easy, right? But it sounds like in your case, you could say a lot about all these things because you know a lot about these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you going to do next?
Well, I actually found another book about disabilities. I'm gonna read that and write a little bit more.
Okay, so
And she showed me a bunch of new strategies, so I'm gonna do a bulleted list.
do you know why that's important that you're going to do some more reading about disabilities? Because that's going to make it easier for you to say more about your topic. Because if you feel comfortable saying more about your topic, then it's easier for you to write more too. Okay, and so if all these people that are watching you now, if you could give them some sort of advice about writing, what would your advice be?
If you're reading a good book and there's a lot of information, don't write everything down because then it's all unorganized. You want to put it into like a bulleted list so all the facts are organized.
Great,
And
great.
not just all there and you're like, hey, where's this one fact I wrote? And you have to read the whole page again. You can put it in order.
Yeah, and you know what advice I would give them that I learned from you? I would tell them that if you have a lot of things that you're writing about that you care about, that you think you could say a lot about, but they just seem like they're not related, you can do what Rhea did. You can write more about them and then ask yourself, well, what's the same about all these things? And then see if that same thing is something that you can say a lot more about, and then you can write about that. Okay. Thanks for sharing that, Rhea.
No problem.
Great work today. I'll see you next time.
Bye.